Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Lay down your troubles, worries and woe. Lay down your troubles, worries and woe. That's your part. Lay down your troubles, worries and woe. Lay down your troubles, worries and woe. Traveling pilgrim, rest for the night. Traveling pilgrim, rest for the night. Traveling pilgrim, rest for the night. Safe from the darkness, here in the light. Safe from the darkness, here in the light. Safe from the darkness, here in the light. Homeless believer, find here a home. Homeless believer, find here a home. Homeless believer, find here a home. You may be lonely, but never alone. You may be lonely, but never alone. You may be lonely, but never alone. Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Wandering shepherd, wander no more. Safe from darkness, find here a home. Safe from the darkness, find here a home. Safe from the darkness, find here a home. Okay.
So we're going to take a moment just to pass a chalice around. Anything that folks can put in the basket helps with our own sustenance. And while we're passing the basket, Joe is going to drink some water.
My father, he could use a little mercy now. For the fruits of his labor falling right slowly on the ground. His work is almost over. Won't be long, he won't be around. I love my father. He could use some mercy now. Yeah, I love my father. He could use some mercy now. My brother, he could use a little mercy now. He's a stranger to freedom, shackled to his fears and his doubts. The pain that he lives in, it's almost more than living will allow. I love my brother. He could use some mercy now. Yeah, I love my brother. He could use some mercy now. My church and my country, they could use a little mercy now. They sink into a poison pit. It's gonna take forever to climb out. They carry the weight of the faithful as we follow them down. I love my church, my country. I could use some mercy now. Yeah, I love my church and country. They could use some mercy now. Ah. Yeah, we could use a little mercy now. We may not deserve it, we need it anyhow. We hang in the balance between hell and hallowed ground. Every single one of us use some mercy now. Yeah, we all could use some mercy now.
So let's just take a deep breath for that one, right? We can all use a little mercy now. And one way that we give ourselves mercy is to take care of our bodies and to understand how very, very, very important our physical well-being is. And in one sense, that's why we are happy to have Hedy here today. She has a passion for learning, as her experience as a retired rehab director. And she's the founder and a luminary behind her skin company, because it's important to understand how our bodies work and how we can take really good care. And in one sense, that is such an important part of our well-being, so that we can go out and do the work and be present the way we'd like to be. Hey.
Thank you, Lori. That was a lovely, lovely introduction. Before I get started, I have no idea what to bring to you today, but I am more than happy to be here. Being a total nerd, by the way, my pronouns are she and her. I have a QR code. Should you be interested, I have a drive.
Hold on. Let me take care. Yeah, let me take care of it. I'll hold it up to the camera.
I totally nerded out, and I put together a drive folder, and there's the link. There are all kinds of interesting things that I nerded out about. The flyer that I put together was going to cover, some skin conditions that are pretty common, including rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, vitiligo, scar management. Did I leave something out? No, psoriasis, eczema, I think I mentioned them all. So rather than do that, and here's some lovely charts, should any of you really want to nerd out. But most importantly, what I'd like to point out is that it really is a mind-body connection. No matter how you want to look at it, it is not any one entity that you can separate from the others. Your brain is not separated from your elbow is not separated from your gut, so forth and so on. They exist when they're working really well, in a great equilibrium, and when they don't, and there is imbalances or there are imbalances, you get to see a whole bunch of manifestations. So I want to start with, by the way, you can always interrupt me, please do. I want to start with some fun facts. They're fun facts that I came across and I was kind of surprised about. So let's talk about skin. It's your largest organ. It's designed to keep most things out. It's your front lines of defense against a whole host of insults. It releases water, sweat, and oils, and it does so, the oils especially, to keep a balance of microbes on your skin. Why is that so important? We're not here to, amongst all of us, we're not really dealing with acne at this point in life. However, there are other really distressing conditions that are mediated by other systems, which are then manifested by your skin. So let's talk about a newborn. pH. Newborn's pH is about 7. That's neutral on the pH scale of, say, 0 to 14. As an adult, normal skin pH is 5.5, and it varies according to where on the body we're talking about. But that's really important because as we're talking about biomes, whatever lives on your skin is not happy when it's out of the pH range that it likes to live in. So for example, we would not be really happy living at 120-degree Fahrenheit temperature. By the same token, these little guys are not happy when the pH of your skin changes. When you are a baby in your mom's tummy, you are sterile. As you are being delivered, your first microbiome is delivered by vaginal delivery. Surprise. If you're a C-section baby, then whatever biome you acquire is through the environment and human touch. It will mature after a while, but what you're given, if you're lucky enough to be a vaginal delivery, is confirmed by the mother. And that's really important because it takes quite a while for that myome to settle and mature. That's why a lot of babies have eczema issues and a whole bunch of other little things going on if there's any grandchildren in the room. Antibiotics also affect the skin biome. You know all about that. They will affect your gut. They will affect your skin. They are targeted to kill certain kinds of bacteria. Having said that, the skin on a human body, surprise, surprise, varies. Here's a good little chart. Varies. The populations vary with the location on your body. So your face population is going to be different than your armpit, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of important to know because you want to know what it is that you're mediating. As far as pH goes, when you're too high or too low, so too acidic or too alkaline, you get to see things like dryness, flakiness, acne, irritation, which leads to itching and inflammation and redness, and sensitivity. So that would mean like sensitivity to environmental factors like wind, heat, cold, sun, all that stuff. So, excuse me. Somewhere in the late 1800s, these two dermatologist guys figured out that there is a significant connection between what happens in your gut and what's happening on your skin. And so recently, and this has been a really interesting area for me to investigate, for personal interest and for the interest of the things that I make, is that there is a skin gut axis, but more importantly, there's also a brain gut skin axis. And how is that and why is that? Your brain and gut are created when you're developing as an embryo from something called neural crests, and then that goes and becomes something called the neural tube. One goes to the brain and one remains in the gut. We actually have two nervous systems. One is the central nervous system, and the other one is called the enteric nervous system, your gut nervous system. Surprise, your gut actually has a secondary kind of brain. They communicate, the brain and the gut. They communicate with something called neurotransmitters and hormones, and they interact beautifully. There's a beautiful symbiosis, and all of that, unfortunately, will get manifested in your skin. So there are things like, for example, rosacea. If anybody has any questions on any of these, please stop me and ask. Psoriasis, like I said, eczema, and not so much vitiligo and scar management because those are sort of separate issues, but a lot of these issues are something also related to autoimmune disorders. Many of these diagnoses are autoimmune, meaning that your immune system is attacking certain cells. So vitiligo, it is thought that your immune system is killing something called your melanocytes. And vitiligo, if there are any questions, is the loss of pigment on your skin. And you may have come across these people. And it's kind of disfiguring and it's very psychologically upsetting to people when it affects the face or hands, because what else? You shake a hand and you look at people's faces, not so much at their knees. So it's disfiguring and upsetting, but that's what happens when your immune system attacks your pigment cells, melanocytes. So there is a whole thought of how do you repigment skin, how do you mediate that response, so forth and so on. So since your immune system is a key factor in maintaining health in general, what you want to look at, and these are generalities, I'm not even going to go into the specifics, but what you want to do is you want to be able to calm your immune system. You want to provide an environment as best you can in which you can exist in a balanced form. Now, how does that happen? Well, first on the list is managing your stress levels and your anxiety. Easy to say, hard to do, which is one of the reasons why you come here and you spend a moment in silence and in introspection and just quieting your mind. Very, very beneficial. So that's that part. Other things that you can do and you should do is to address the diet that you participate in. What does that mean? That means that you've heard maybe this before, all calories are the same. One calorie is the same as the other, as fact is, as far as like losing weight or gaining weight, but that is not necessarily true. Certain kinds of quote unquote calories have a detrimental effect on our bodies and our immune system. So things like processed foods, think about anything in a bag that crinkles, like a chip of any sort, is considered a processed food. Anything that doesn't come directly from is processed, and it's not the same calorie. It has detrimental effects and it irritates your immune system. And so therefore it can trigger a cascade of not such nice things. Diet, really important. Really important to keep things like prebiotics and probiotics in your diet. What's a prebiotic? Anybody comfortable with that?
No, what is a prebiotic?
I would think somebody would help me out. So prebiotics are things that come from grains, from the husks of grains, things that are not that digestible, but they release a certain kind of bacterial reaction so prebiotics. Probiotics are things that are fermented in general, and they are so good for your gut health. So anything that's fermented, from watermelon rinds to onion skins to sauerkraut, cabbage, et cetera, anything that is fermented, kimchi, should be consumed as often as possible because they are incredibly helpful to what happens inside your digestive system. And again, your digestive system releases neurotransmitters, releases some hormones. These in turn affect your brain. Your brain is then sending different kinds of signals to other parts of your body, like your skin. So these things are important to keep in mind. Again, you want to calm your immune system. You want to provide an environment in which it can exist happily. So these are some of the things that you can do. Again, diet's really important. Quality of the diet is really important. So if at all possible, simple foods are better. Every once in a while, everybody likes a couple or 10 slices of pizza. Even so, that's not particularly processed. So if you think about it, have at it. I do. Talking about skin, important things. Speaking of, and certain of these conditions that I have outlined for you are really influenced by what we do to our skin. So for example, shampoos, soaps, creams, maybe you're not into, tone changing, wrinkle reducing, but all of these things will affect your skin and not always in a good way. You want to use things on your skin that keep the oils on your skin. They don't strip them. Again, the oils are a great barrier to being attacked from the outside in by what lives already on you. Keeping the pH is also important. So things that are pH balanced for you are important. For example, your hair, scalp is happier at a lower pH than your skin. So here, let's say I'm 5.5 and here I'm 4.5. The lower the number, the more acidic something is. So again, what you put on your body is really, really important. Things like protecting yourself against what the sun can do is really, really important. And I'm sure that you've heard this before, but it is key to protect yourself and not have the cells at the outermost begin to act in a haywire effect. And we know what haywire skin cells do. They cause skin cancer and other not such nice things, like wrinkles. But having said that, excuse me, topical products that have natural antibacterial and anti-inflammatory abilities are wonderful. So there is something that I've been reading about, and there are more and more studies, surprise, surprise, about something called quercetin, quercetin. The most abundant food source for quercetin, can't say it, is onion. No, sorry, capers, followed by onion, followed by apples and a whole bunch of other things. Interestingly, it's not the whole onion, it's the onion skin and the part that grows like little rootlets. So keep your onion skins and then pickle them. You're gold. You're just gold. So that particular compound is thought to be as good as, and almost, and I don't want to say the word out loud, but has anti-cancer properties. This is not something that I am pulling off Facebook. I'm not pulling out of the, I don't know, US entertainment news. These sites that I review are really hardcore science things that are not a whole lot of fun to read if that's not where you come from. And so you're looking at what I have pulled off of all of these sites, like Frontiers In, like a whole bunch of these goodies. So this particular compound is really wonderful at mediating a whole bunch of things like inflammation, irritation. And so then we talk about skin irritation sometimes manifests in itching. If you're having an itching problem and you begin to do what normally you do with an itch, you scratch, you then have caused an inflammatory response. It's bad enough that you have the itch, now you have an inflammatory response, and then soon enough or after a bit, you break the skin barrier, and that opens you up to a whole host of other issues. Itch is mediated in our bodies by nerve fibers. It can become a nerve-related situation rather than just something like you have poison ivy exposure. And so it gets really itchy when those vesicles want to pop and you want to scratch. But the minute you start to scratch, of course, you open up the skin and other things can get in. But after a while, the poison ivy site is healed, yet you still continue to scratch. Now, why? That's because your nervous system is irritated. So things like that contain that particular compound that we spoke about are good, are important. The other thing you want to consider is things that have moisturizing abilities. So what's a moisturizing ability? Any of the oils that are compatible with your skin, that do not clog your pores. Again, you know, you want your pores to be able to breathe. So one of the oils that's very most like your own skin is jojoba and squalane. You can consider those oils. And it's always, always important to, we live in the Northeast, so it's always important to maintain as much of your own body oils as possible. As we get older, the amount of oil that our body secretes diminishes, and so you're more likely to have dry skin, and so that leads to more problems. You don't need skin breakdown from that. When you bathe, as a matter of recommendation, you want to leave yourself as wet as possible, put on an occlusive barrier, something like a shea butter, something like the oils we just spoke about, and then begin to dry yourself. Drying should always be patting, should never be rubbing. Rubbing is a mechanical exfoliation. You don't really need to do that. Pat yourself dry. And so that way you have kept as many of the oils on your skin as possible. Soap, as a matter of principle, is a lye product, L-Y-E. It is alkaline. Every time you use a soap, it strips you not of your natural oils, but it also changes the skin pH. And we just said that you'd want to keep that as close to its acidic property as possible. So you want to look for products that are pH balanced for you, that do not contain lye. And you would know, you can look that up. That's easy enough information to get. But commercial products like a Dove bar is something that is not a soap, and you can continue to use that on your skin. And it should keep your skin pH where it was when you started and when you finished bathing. Things that are actually adding some beneficial acids to your skin, like vitamin B3, which is known as niacinamide, are great anti-inflammatory products. They will protect your skin against further assault. And if you do have issues with any of the chronic skin conditions, something to think about is that they are chronic conditions, and so your job really is to protect and be proactive in managing it throughout the year, not just when things get a little bit unhappy, not when you're scratching, not when you have wounds. You want to keep ahead of it. Does anybody have any issues or questions about scar management and scar prevention? Because I will go over that if not.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sure.
All right, we want to wrap it up in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
We're good.
Scar prevention and management. Any insult to the skin and you have concerns about the way that you're going to heal and it has relevance, scar management should be addressed by massage, and it should start 2 to 3 weeks after your initial injury, because by then your skin will have healed over. And if you have concerns about the way that you heal, there's hypertrophic scars and there's keloid scars, and there are problems with that. And then what you want to do is make sure that your collagen deposition as you heal over the months is in a proper basket weave pattern as opposed to haphazard, which is what those other scars are made of. So you want to stay ahead of it. And yes, it's in there, and you can look that up as a concept. In general, take care of your skin. It will take care of you. Your skin is affected by the gut, is affected by your brain. Remember to keep your outside really in great shape so that it doesn't get penetrated and become a problem. It is, again, your front line of defense. Antibiotics, there's a new concept for a while in medicine called antibiotic stewardship, meaning let the body try to heal itself before you start throwing antibiotics, because we have so much resistance. Remember MRSA, which is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. We've become resistant to that kind of stuff. So you want to have that stewardship in concept. So take care of yourself, good nutrition, things that are not processed. Try your probiotics on a daily basis. Yes, have some grains with husks and whatever, unless there are other conditions you're dealing with. It will positively affect your brain. Your brain will positively affect your gut. Your gut will positively affect your skin. I'm done.
I have one quick question. What is the name of your skincare company?
Illumia, ILLUMIA skincare products.
Thank you. I
And
know
we're
it's on
in
the QR code, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't bring any of that with me because it wasn't my intent to promote Illumia. It's my intent to share some of the stuff that I went and deep dived into, please.
Oh, I just had a question about your scalp and the skin on your scalp. And have you read about or personally experienced any treatment for hair loss that's effective?
Yeah.
I mean, your hair looks great.
Thank you. I watched it. Sadly enough, I make my own shampoo now. So the answer to that is minoxidil
Right.
or biotin. And biotin is a B vitamin. Are there any health people in the room? Okay. Biotin works. You have to keep using it. Same thing with the minoxidil. They absolutely do work, but you can't stop.
Right.
Because over time, whatever your normal unhappy state is, that's where you're going to be at. So, yeah. Unless, of course, there's some other kind of immune situation that causes. I mean, we're not talking if there's underlying medical issues.
Right.
Anything else you guys can scratch up with questions?
So Maura has a question?
I have a question. Am
Yeah.
I muted? My granddaughter, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My granddaughter has just been diagnosed, and I'm always very suspicious of diagnoses by doctors. I'm sorry, because I've had some that haven't been correct. But she had an endoscopy, and it came up with some kind of gut paralysis. I don't remember what the real name is, but it's that her food goes through more slowly than other people's. I tend to think a lot of her problems are emotional and stress related and diet related. Have you ever heard of this particular situation? And is there anything you've ever heard of that would be in any way useful that she might be, whether she listens to me or not, could be useful? I don't really know what this is. They're going to be changing her diet. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff. She has a lot of allergies. She's got a lot of stuff always going on.
So whenever you have any kind of an immune condition, very often you'll have a comorbidity, meaning there'll be more than one immune situation. I don't know where she's going to be treated. And, the older I get, the more of a tree hugger I've become. Take it back to basics. Do the right thing for yourself.
Yeah.
Manage stress levels. Stress and anxiety will affect everything in your body.
Yeah.
She's young, so not hypertension yet, but it will actually predispose you to diabetes. Aren't there enough things that anxiety and stress will do for us? So I would look at that. They will look at diet, but I don't know who's looking at her diet, what the perspective of
Yeah.
that practitioner is. But like you heard me say, you start right. There are some amazing supplements, but I don't want to recommend because it would be not a good idea. I am not a physician and I'm not a certified researcher, don't have my PhD, but there are some amazing supplements that help with gut dysmobility, meaning things don't move along. It's unusual that somebody so young should have gastric paresis, which is what you're saying. That stuff just kind of like sits there. But I would say clean up the diet first. And you heard me talk about the probiotics, things like yogurt with lots and lots of different bacteria, things like probiotics. Ultimately, what you want to do is make sure that her diet is as diverse as possible. The more diverse, the more opportunity for all kinds of bacteria, microbes in general, to settle the gut.
The only other question I have is that you were saying something about to protect the skin. I didn't hear whether you said D or B3. Which did you say? D as in dog or B as in boy?
Niacinamide is a B boy vitamin, B3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
B12
thank
nerves,
you.
B3, niacinamide, great for skin. Yeah, has a lot of really nice effects on our skin. So, yeah. More?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Tamara had raised her hand too. Tamara?
Hi, thank you so much for today's presentation. I appreciate it. I hope you guys can hear me okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I second that. Everything is with stress. It's all hormones. Everything is connected with hormonal levels. They're finding more and more. I've had some issues. I've been in healthcare and I've had some issues in my digestive tract since I was a kid. And just found this out. I'm just learning as of yesterday about sulfonyl methane and how it's been found to help with gut healing. It's called MSM and with allergy relief. And I'm just learning about it. I don't know if you've heard anything about it in your research that you've done with your skin. And then I just had a quick question. You had said using oils. I was I had a toxic challenge. I was exposed to a chemical when I was in medical research, and became allergic to some things. And one of the things I'm allergic to is nuts and seeds. So I'm wondering if there's another type of oil maybe that you could recommend for dry skin. As I'm getting older, used to have super oily skin, now it's not.
Nice, right? Um, okay, when I was in middle school, I had a teacher who used to pride himself and tell us that he used to bathe himself in olive oil every day. After he was done bathing, put it in his scalp, put it in his hair. Olive oil, EVOO is a great substitute. I don't know that you're allergic to olives, but if you are not, something good to consider. I think shea nuts are nuts, so I don't know. Not all people are
I
allergic
can't
to all
use
nuts.
shea.
Yeah.
Yeah, shea, I can't. I'll go into anaphylaxis. Actually, I used olive oil for a long time, but they started putting corn in it.
Mm.
And now I react to it because that was one of the other things,
Okay.
shellfish, nuts, and corn. So I
Are
can't use
you
that.
able
But
to?
thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Are you able to use grapeseed?
Um, not, I haven't found one that's not pressed on the same factory machinery as nut oils. I haven't been able to find one yet.
Yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt and kind of put this conversation. You two keep
Yeah, because
going.
it's
I'm
personal.
using
Yeah.
the ending time
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Thank you so much. Wonderful presentation.
It is interesting to hear how the body really is this process machine. Everything is connected, and when one thing goes, another thing goes. And we can kind of see that too with our. I was reading an article about the kind of cascading kind of thing for U.S. aid not going to people's well-being. So at any rate, it's very, very lovely to understand that our bodies are all connected and that we can, in one sense, kind of think about accentuating the positive to kind of minimize the cascade that might come. And I'm going to ask Joe to sing us out. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Simple steps.
I was thinking about what I would play. I was thinking about our hair and scalp. And I was thinking about,
Not having any.
and I was thinking about our inner world and our outer world and our body world and all the different parts of us that are all interconnected. I was thinking of this song, and that's what I'm going to share with you. And you can sing it with me. There's a part of me that I disregard. I doubt myself and I try too hard. I turn away from you and I want to go. There's a part of me I don't even know. Part of me is a wounded kid, and I struggle with what the grown-ups did. Up in my room and a little scared, feeling small and unprepared. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn. I got everything I need. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn in me. In me. There's a part of me that wants to run, ashamed of some of the things I'd done, saying you could be better than where you're at. But the fire in me knows better than that. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn. I got everything I need. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn in me. In me. And there's a part of me with these old scars, still acting tough and taking charge. It tries to win and wants to prove that I'm in control and I'm on the move. There's a part that knows I'm good enough, that I moved on from all that stuff. But the nighttime comes and it all returns, so I'll tend and watch my fire burn. So burn, fire, burn, fire, burn. I got everything I need. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn in me. Here we go, come on. So burn, fire, burn, fire, burn. I got everything I need. Burn, fire, burn, fire, burn in me. In me. There's a part of me that I disregard, and I doubt myself, and I try too hard. I turn away from you and I want to go. There's a part of me I don't even know.
Joe, would you say their second word if you don't mind? I want to just give a little 2-minute elevator speech about Joe, because some of you don't know him, and he didn't really get an introduction here today.
Yeah.
So this is Joe Crookston. He's been playing music for 28 years or more, probably before that, but that's what he said last night. I've known Joe since 2006. Brought him to the area. Well, Angela Page convinced him to, well, he was moving already here. He's played in this area a lot. He has eight CDs out. His website is joecrookson.com. He was for a year, interviewed people around the state of New York, wrote songs about their stories, has had documentaries made. The man is amazing. You hear his musicianship, his songs, he's a beautiful human being. joecrookson.com. Please look him up, check him out, buy his CDs, come hear concerts. What's that?
And he's an
And an
artist.
artist too. I have a painting of his hanging in my living room, you know. So he's a wonderful friend and grateful to have him here today.
Thanks. Nice to sing for you all.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Hedy. Thank you, Joe. Wonderful, wonderful. I want to end with a reading. This was a reading done at the end of Jill and Tom's wedding. It's the and it is so we said we will start this next honeymoon vacation with a singer-songwriter. Singer-songwriters are really very, very, very special, I think. It is that combination, as Hedy was saying, it is that combination of the body and the mind and the spirit, and actually relaxing enough so that we can hear it come from someplace else beyond ourselves. And that's why relaxing and being able to inhabit this very special being that we actually all are. You know, when we are able to really weave all of that together and understand that it's a big system and it's all connected. Brings us to our closing words. Everything the power of the world does is done in a circle. The sky is round, and I have heard that the earth is round like a ball, and so are the staffs. The wind in the greatest power whirls. Birds make their nests in circles, for theirs is the same religion as ours. The sun comes forth and goes down again in a circle. Even the seasons form a great circle in their changing and always coming back again to where they were. The life of a person is a circle from childhood to childhood, and so it is in everything where power moves. Steve's gonna extinguish the chalice. And now, let us go forth from this circle in peace, remembering and celebrating the many, many circles of our lives. May we go and serve those circles in all that we do, bearing witness to the completeness of this circle of love, so that those in whom love is a stranger may find in us generous friends. May it be so. And may those in the room experience lovely homemade baked goods and coffee and good conversation. You gotta feed the body too. Anyway, thank you so much for those online. Board members, if you can tune in to the regular channel at 7 o'clock, we'll have a quick board meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
do have a mailing list. If you're new and like to get on our mailing list, you can give it to Tom.
Thank you.